Welcome to Inductive Bible Study with Logos for session number 12. And as you can see, we have covered a lot of ground the last 12 months. We tonight are going to be talking about searching strategies for Inductive Bible Study, Part 2, picking up from where we left off last month with the beginning of search strategies. As you know, we have several webinar tracks that are wrapping up this year. Studying the Bible will be our next one. That's 2 Mondays from now, October 17th, and that's held the third Monday of every month. And then Preparing Sermons, which is held the fourth Monday of every month, that being October 24th. And then a month from now, we'll start our new series, and I'm not sure exactly yet what we're going to do, but I've got a list, and I'm just trying to order those out. Sign up at LearnLogos.com/webinar. And the newsletter is hopefully around the corner. I know I was hoping to get it done this weekend, but we launched our new website, and that took much longer than I expected. But you can email us at tips@LearnLogos.com, and in 10/9, by next weekend, a week from today, you will have the bonus issue. About 100 pages, 5 times the normal size, and that's to make up for all the time between the last newsletter. So I promise it's good. I'm excited. It's mostly done, and we're almost there. Just a quick reminder, the webinar is normally retail for $9.99, but as you know, we give them here to you for $4.99. Great value when you consider it's 1 to 2 hours of training. And we'll send you a download link in which you can download next 24 to 48 hours. If you haven't had a chance to purchase the training CDs, this is a really good time to do that. 50% off special. The orange CDs will lay down the foundation, show you every single feature in Logos 4. And then the blue CD, it's actually 2 of them, called Best Practices for Studying, Teaching, and Preaching. That will take you through several things. First, we'll give you 11 lectures on how to study the Bible, teach, and preach. Then we'll give you over 130 book overviews, showing you what is unique about the books in your library, as well as showing you books outside your library, should you decide to purchase and grow your library. And then the third set of videos is walking you through the Bible study process, showing you best practices, helping you apply what you learned in the orange disc so that you can more effectively use it for studying, teaching, and preaching. The CDs are very guided instructions, slow-paced, self-paced. Everything is articulated in those videos. They're really wonderful. The webinars are a little more fast-moving, a little more topical-based. Of course, with the questions, anything can happen. So we sometimes cover topics, a lot of times we cover topics that just aren't addressed in the CDs. So when you think about training, the CDs represent the foundation and the webinars represent that continuing education. So last month we talked about some things, specifically search strategies for studying the Bible and inductive Bible study, and we talked about some preliminary things, what to do with your search results. We talked about notes, the importance of creating custom collections, the importance of prioritization, leveraging the toolbar. And then we began to look at some of the automated tools that Logos provides, the homepage, passage guide, the exegetical guide, Bible word study. All of those reports and guides help organize the information, and all we needed to really know to use that was a passage or a topic. And then we started to do some ad hoc searching, that is, searching on the fly. We explored the double-click, English encyclopedias and dictionaries, and we also explored the beginnings of a right-click for specialized searching on Greek and Hebrew. Tonight, we're going to really get into the powerful search features of Logos. We're going to look at the basic search engine. We're going to look more detailed at the Bible search engine. We're going to explore the Morph search engine and even touch a little bit on the syntax searching, which, by the way, I do have several videos on the training CDs that explore that. Then we'll talk about some important searches to master, what I call surge and search with collections in proximity. We'll talk about concordance searching, single Bible versus all English Bibles. We'll look at the words of Christ, which is a very important search to master. We'll talk about how to do field searching and excel at that. And also image search, which is important. And one more, a city search. I just added that in the last few minutes, so it's not here, but we will cover that in the presentation. And then some areas that sometimes we forget about, but are still very important when it comes to searching, and that is the miscellaneous category, the history search tool, the power lookup tool, and the information window tool. So we've got a lot tonight in store for you, and I'm very excited. So let's begin with the search engines, and we're just going to go back and forth between the PowerPoint and the Logos program. Now, the basic search is it's unfortunately named basic search because what it really should be named is book search. And it's designed by default to search your whole library. But as we talked about last week in the previous webinars, you really want to use the basic search with collections. And a real brief summary of collections is just simply a set of books that you've organized and grouped together and given a name, and then we're going to search those. And it's important I stress this. To do this effectively, you really do need to know your books. And as I mentioned in the previous slide about the training CDs, I have painstakingly gone through 130 key books, both in your collections that you'd expect to see from really the library collection through Platinum. But then I also show you some other books outside the collections. And if you know the types of books that are in your library, that will make your searching that much more effective. So in the book overviews, I'll actually show you the book and the key data in there, and they're all organized by steps in the Bible study process. So I've grouped all the prayer books, I've grouped all the commentaries, all the keyword study Bible books, etc. So when we do searches with the basic search, there's really three things you need to be sensitive to or aware of. You need to know how to master the word and phrase search, and we're going to do some in a minute. You also need to master the verse search. Very, very important. And then you need to master these ideas of the Boolean, the and the or. So let's go ahead to Logos, and let's jump in there. And I'm going to go ahead and close all. And let's get ourselves started. And let's go to the search button at the top left. So that's how we can access the basic search. So I'm going to click on search. And then once the screen refreshes, you'll see that you have 4 search options: basic, Bible, morph, and syntax. I got a question already, and I appreciate that, Cindy. Should we have our own Logos program open to work along with you? Hey, that's a great idea, Cindy. Some people do like having that. Sometimes people like to just get the download later so they can review it. There is a lot of information, so feel free to go along with it. That's just fine, and go ahead and do that. So with the search window open, we need to click on Basic. So make sure you click on Basic. Now, when you first open up the basic search, you're going to see 2 drop-down boxes, one called All Text and the other one called Entire Library. I'm going to click Entire Library first. The Entire Library link gives you access to essentially everything in your library. And this is why we create collections, because it's a lot easier to pick a series of books that you've already previously grouped together rather than trying to pick one book here, one book there. So the entire library is what I call the last ditch effort. If you can't find something, then choose Entire Library and let's hope that it's in your library. Another feature with the basic search is all open resources. And this is pretty handy too, because if you have, let's say, a series of commentaries or several books that you have opened up and you want to search all of them, then clicking all open resources will search only those books. Then you can see that Logos gives you some collections. And these are some collections will be given to you by default from Logos, where others are ones that I've created. For example, I've got illustrations, apologetics. You'll see that I've taken some of my authors who have large or multiple volume works, and I have grouped them all together, like Charles Spurgeon or John MacArthur. I'm going to scroll down some more. I've got biographies, Catholic resources, commentaries, a whole bunch of just different things in there, historical background, illustrations, etc. So very helpful to have those in there. And that will allow you to search specific groups of books. The second area that I want you to show, or like to show you, is the all text area. Now, when you're in the basic search and you choose all text, you will see that we have several items. I'm going to click these little triangles to collapse the information. So we have access to search fields. We have access to our highlighting. Now the reason mine are showing up solid colors, emphasis markup, highlighter pens, inductive, and new palette is because I have marked up some of my books with these various highlighting pens. And once you mark up a book, that capability will show up here. But if you've never highlighted any books, then you won't see these listed there. So in the basic search engine, it really kind of looks ahead and sees all your books and looks at all the things you've done to them. And then if there is a field that you can search on, it'll list it here. In fact, let me go ahead now and expand search fields, and you'll see exactly what I mean. Every book that has a search field is listed here. So for example, there is city or contributor. We could scroll down further to the ID or the lectionaries, the Latin text. Now, not every book will have this specific search field, but there's at least one book in our library that does have this. So this can come in handy, but if you open up another book, and for example, let me just go and do that. I'm going to switch to the NASB library, or the NASB Bible, and I'm going to choose NASB 95. Now I'm going to go back to alt text and look at my search fields. There's significantly less, only a handful. These are the search fields that are available only in the New American Standard Bible. Notice that I only have 3 markups: the emphasis, highlighter pens, and inductive. So remember that this will change based on what book or books or collections you have selected. Very important to be aware of that. So let's just do some basic searches. Now, again, we're searching the books. You can search for Bibles in here too. So don't forget that a Bible is considered a book as well. Now, I want to get rid of this NASB, so I can delete that or just click the X here to remove the criteria. When I do that, now I get access back to my entire library and so forth. So I'm going to choose entire library, and I'm just going to type in a single word, justifies, and press enter. Now, when you do a single word search with the basic search, you'll see that we get several categories or sections in our report. We have my content, which represents your notes, your clippings, your sentence diagrams, anything where the word justifies was mentioned. Then we have my books, so if you've created something with the personal book builder, it'll show up here. And then we have our library results, and notice the statistics that we have listed here. So quite a bit of search results. If you click on the section, that will expand it. And when you expand it, you'll see you've got 3 areas. You have ranked, by title, and by count. Ranking is really trying to determine what is the best resource that you should use based on your search criteria. A lot of times it's just the one that has the most occurrences. For example, see how this says 30x at the right? That means it appeared 30 times in this resource, and that's why it showed up first on the ranking. But again, it can change based on different criteria. Then we have by title. Now, I like the by title. I'm going to click on that. And the reason I like by title is I get to see the book cover. And the more and more you use Logos, the more familiar you become with your icons, your covers. And so right away you'll be looking for some picture that you recognize. And that can help you organize your search results. And then by count will truly organize it by count. So the one that has the most hits will go first. So it's slightly different than ranking. Ranking has a special algorithm that tries to determine what really is the best, as well as taking advantage of some rankings and things you've done behind the scenes. Susan's got a question. What does inductive mean on this? Oh, Susan, great question. That's actually just one of my highlighting palettes. So let me show you. I'm going to go to Tools, Highlighting. And you will see that I have the inductive highlighter palette, which you will too. This is a standard part of the Logos install. And since I marked up one of my books with one of these symbols, the word inductive shows up. So that's where it came from. Great question. So when you're working with the basic search engine, you need to be aware of these 3 different ways to sort your information. And I typically leave it on ranked because I have found over time that Logos does a good job of putting first in the list what I'm looking for. Any questions?